Hi, this following episode is dedicated to our friend Dan Z, who was a close friend to all of us in college. Dan, you exemplified the kindness and tender energy that Studio Ghibli captures at its core. Your consideration for others, your creativity, and your warm heart is forever missed.
Dan made me want to watch all the Studio Ghibli movies. It's something that I show in my classroom, and it's my way that I feel like I'm still connected to Dan. You're very sorely missed. I love you. I think we all love you. We miss you a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that somewhere you're watching this episode and you're smiling upon us.
Yeah, I'm not, surprised at all to hear, that Dan was such a big fan of Studio Ghibli. I knew him to be a big fan. Obviously, you guys had the opportunity to watch, much more with him than I ever could. But not only is he obviously he had good taste. He was a really good friend, and I've come to learn that him and I actually share the same favorite Studio Ghibli movie, so he has especially good taste. But I'm very, excited that we're kind of doing this not only for kind of everyone that listens to us, but also in memory of him, and that's very special.
So, thank you everyone for listening, and we hope you enjoy.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Three Strangers podcast. I am your host Ryan.
And I'm Bill.
And I'm Nick.
And we are here to talk about a project that we have been waiting a very long time to talk about.
Yeah.
We're splitting this into two separate episodes because of how much information is just within this, what we're talking about, which is Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, we've been wanting to talk about this for quite a while. Kind of like it is a series. I think maybe is a little more recent, but I think we've alluded to it and talked about it a little bit more. This is very exciting, honestly.
Yeah, excited to talk about quite the filmography and studio, just filled with powerful stories, and maybe one horror movie.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay, I'm
You guys
interested to
would,
hear that.
you guys could probably guess which one. Yeah.
I'm, I'm clocking.
I think we wait and then
Okay,
you
we'll
say
wait.
it next
We'll wait to
once
see.
once we get to it.
We'll see if people can
I want
guess.
I want to see.
Running down the quick list, there's only one that I would really define as maybe a horror movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Like whenever you do a retrospective, there's a lot of ways that you can go with it. Some people do retrospectives on series. Some people do retrospectives on like a leading actor, actress, director. This is kind of interesting, right? We're kind of there was many people that constituted Studio Ghibli. Obviously, Hayao Miyazaki as the forefront.
Yeah.
They're kind of creator and spiritual leader even now. In a lot of respects. So I'm really excited to kind of talk about this. I kind of want to launch. What's the first Studio Ghibli movie you guys remember watching?
The first one that I watched
Yeah.
was Spirited Away.
Wow.
Same.
Great start.
It's not gonna be not gonna be very exciting. It's what I mean is yeah, Ryan and I having the same one. What about you, Bill?
I sorry. The first one I saw. Sorry, it's making me laugh because now I'm actually realizing my answer. Spirited Away was the second one I ever saw. The first one I ever saw was Ponyo.
Oh,
Which is not one of my favorite ones.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this once, and then I'm sure this is gonna come up throughout Ghibli. Much like Disney, which I don't. We could talk about this, but a lot of people are like, oh, Ghibli is like the Disney of Japan and kind of Eastern animation as a concept. I don't really like that comparison, but also I not going to lie when I think there are certain Studio Ghibli movies that work best when you are a child, or if you have children, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an interesting perspective right off the bat.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of want to set some ground rules for our audience for this episode.
Hmm.
So, like I said, we're splitting this up into two parts. This first one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to start on what we think is the first Studio Ghibli movie and go all the way down the list into the most recent Studio Ghibli film, more so opinionated instead of fact based, or different things about the production of the movies, things that are going on in the world. Although some of them you're going to be able to assume what is, what is the train of thought behind it, what the
Yeah.
movie's talking about.
Yeah.
We want to save that for the second episode where we bring in our friend Craig, who is kind of an animation expert,
Yes.
who will be coming in and being able to give a lot of details, stuff that maybe that we're not as familiar with, or maybe you as an audience aren't familiar with.
I don't want to out Craig too hard. Craig is obviously a friend of us all. I truly bow to him when it comes to knowledge and breadth of like animation and just what he's watched, what he's like seen. He is like a true like expert. Like there's nobody I defer to more. So I'm honestly a little nervous how my opinions are gonna hold up to his. I I think we're gonna disagree quite a bit. And if you guys know anything about me, I tend to not back down. I think that's important. I think that's important in critical discussion. I do happen to know. I think we all know his favorite Ghibli movie. Um, there's probably gonna be some words. There's probably gonna be some words.
Yeah,
But we'll get there when we get there, huh?
What Bill is trying to say
yeah.
is his opinion is fact. So if anyone is not with his,
It's like like it's
Damn
painful to see your heroes fall so low.
Yeah.
Your buddy ripping Mr. Incredible off the wall, like type vibes.
Mm.
Sorry, animation within animation reference,
yeah,
but
that's good. That's good.
yeah, we'll get there when we get there. I'm actually nervous thinking about it. Let's talk about something else, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the very first Ghibli movie, which for this podcast we are going to say is Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind.
Right. That's a little controversial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Releasing
Little
just
bit.
before the studio's conception, really.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you?
So
Yeah, go ahead.
my question is, Bill or Nick, is this one that you guys have watched?
This is funny, if you don't mind me taking this one, Nick.
Go ahead.
I saw, honestly, there is other movies that I kind of viewed in this way. This is a very poor way to view a movie. What I'm about to tell you is that it's more or less on in the background while you are in the same room doing something else. And also sometimes leaving that room. To enlighten this a little bit, I was basically at a friend's like house in college, and like we were like working on like something like at like the dining room table away from the living room, but it was on and like other people were watching it, and I kept hearing it and kind of seeing it, and like sometimes leaving the room for stuff and like everything. It caught enough of my attention that I was like, okay, I actually have to go and sit down and watch this. And it's I'm quite a fan of it. I know we'll get into it, but what about you, Nick?
I'm a fan of it as well, but I've never seen it.
Clever. All
Yeah.
right.
So fan, big fan for a movie that I haven't seen. It's actually what it to me. Let's talk about this. It seems like it has a different animation style, and it actually seems like it's a prettier animation style. And that's what draws me in. Next movie.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I guess we will have to go next movie unless you have any thoughts on it, Ryan.
So it is 16th on my list of all 24 that I have, and it
Whoa.
seems low,
Whoa,
right? And
that's
this
low.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
Not
So
enough.
this is where I want to mention that I think there are three bad Studio Ghibli movies. I think there's only three bad ones, and I think the rest are all good and above to excellent masterpieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this
Nausicaa.
being 16th, I gave it 3.5 stars.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, because all right, yeah, in normal convention that would apply like maybe like a 2 star or something. So
Yes.
3.5. Oh
So
God.
that's why I wanted to say like it's 16th on the list, but not because it's a bad movie. It's just I think there are so many projects in this entire studio that are bangers to masterpieces. That this one, although it's a great start and I think is like the perfect one to start Studio Ghibli with, it's just lower on the list because I think as the movies go on and as uh, Miyazaki starts to hone in more on his storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
his world development, I think they get a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Do you
Um.
think they get better with? Do you think they get better with age? Is that what you're saying?
For some of them, yes.
Okay.
Others, no. We'll get to one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
My final note on Nausicaa, I know we need to like kind of move on from it. It definitely, and you probably know this, Nick, even if you haven't seen the film, as you claim. What's it? It is absolutely 100% a environmentalism.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that's all.
Mhm.
That's what I knew about it. Is like I'm a big proponent of it.
And that is never ever gonna leave
Yeah.
Ghibli. I don't think. So,
Oh
starting
yeah, we'll
out,
get there with some
yeah.
other ones, but
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
when we talk about more in the other episode, there's gonna be a lot of themes that are gonna show up in a lot of these. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Last thought about Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, awesome climax. It has a great act three.
Mhm.
The third act is near perfect.
Right. To kind of give some background from where we went from Nausicaa into why Studio Ghibli was founded and everything. As I understand it, Miyazaki and a lot of his like fellow animators at the time felt that the Japanese animation industry was getting kind of stale. Ghibli refers to a concept regarding like a wind that breathes a new life into things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really beautiful concept. It's definitely not because Miyazaki has a extreme love of planes, as we'll come to see, and aeronautic stuff in general. Um,
Hmm.
it definitely has nothing to do with that, but it has kind of everything to do with this kind of shared mission to, establish a kind of powerhouse in Japanese animation, making really high quality stuff that not unlike kind of like Disney, in the West claims to have done, sort of entertainment for everyone, can be enjoyed by both young and old.
Yeah.
So,
All right, let's go on now to what is now what we kind of say is like the first after like the studio was created, which is Castle in the Sky.
yeah,
So who has seen it?
I sorry to kind of preview my thoughts. I watched this for this. It was my first time ever seeing it. I very different from what I was expecting, but I'll leave it at that for
Hmm.
now. What about you guys?
I have not watched it, and I will say I'm
Nick,
gonna try to watch as many of these as I can before part two.
Nick hates movies.
I hate movies.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Hmm. So this one is 12 out of the 24, right at the halfway for me.
Yeah, mid
Okay.
pack, mid pack.
Hmm. It is 4 stars that I have given it. Uh, Something that I'm gonna say for a lot of these movies is that the score is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the score to Castle in the Sky. It is gorgeous.
Mm.
Uh, the one thing that bugs me with this movie, and it's really only this one that has this problem, I think, is that the kid characters sound like adults. They
Yeah.
sound like full grown adults.
Mm.
Well, to be clear, did you watch
In the English dub.
the English dub? Okay.
It is.
Yeah,
I would probably rank it the same. Like I watched uh, I watched the
the
Japanese
sub. Yeah.
version as well, just to make sure that it wasn't like messing with any rankings. It wasn't. That it is definitely like in its spot, but that's just something that really bugs me about it in the English dub.
Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I feel like whenever you talk about like foreign movies in general, it's like the sub versus dub debate. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that until Ghibli became more known as an entity, it's really weird. A lot of people have loaned their voices. American actors and actresses have loaned their voices to the more like mid '90s and onwards fare.
Mhm.
It can honestly be a little distracting at times. We'll kind of go, over there when we kind of get there. To kind of close my stuff out on it, I think it's interesting. I did not expect it to combine so many different elements together at once. Kind of fantasy and futurism
Mhm.
and like some like working and like class struggle stuff.
Yeah, at times feeling like oh my god, sort of like anachronistic a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like it is very interesting. I think that's what I was so shocked about. I expected it almost to be like a straight up fantasy story, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
for spoiler alert, the castle in the sky is like an actual real thing. Like it's like a physical thing that is actually like real. I thought the castle in the sky in the title was going to be like literally like a realm, like a make believe land or something like that. Um, I was very shocked to find out it was real. I quite enjoyed it. I think it was a strong starting point for Ghibli, but they did
Yeah.
better. So yeah.
Mhm.
All right, then we move on to our next film, which is My Neighbor Totoro, which I'm going to start this one, guys. Because remember
Ooh.
how I told you that there was one more thing that I like from London that I was going to show you guys, but I was going to wait until the podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
What did you get? What'd you get?
So I went to London, as now you could tell podcast listeners because I just said that I did.
Mm.
And while I was there with my significant other, uh, we decided that we were going to go to the London Theatre District
Oh.
and see a show. And the show that we saw that was posted all over the subway system in London, everywhere, was
The
My Neighbor Totoro,
the
A stage
Totoro
version?
the
a stage
Totoro
version.
is on West End. What
It
the
is,
hell?
mhm.
Whoa. Is it a West End play? Is it a play or a musical?
It's a play. Okay, there's music elements to it
Okay.
because, like, how, like, the beginning of the movie, the hey, let's go,
Right.
like that song is in
Yeah.
it. They have someone singing it like on stage as the stuff is moving. They have it.
Mm.
They did a lot of puppet stuff. So cool. Tina loved it.
Mm.
Uh, with that being said, it has the same issue that I have with the movie.
Cool. I'm
Interesting.
very
What is it?
very excited for this. I'm very excited for this, by
Hmm?
the way. Okay.
When Totoro isn't there, it is boring.
Hmm.
Mm.
And it's it's very weird because, Totoro is why you watch it. That's why kids love it. We all love Totoro, and that's going to
Mhm.
become the symbol for Studio Ghibli.
Mm.
Uh, he is barely in the movie, and there's the if you have too much of a good thing, then like its effects aren't as great.
Right.
So I think the issue with My Neighbor Totoro is that the plot, when Totoro isn't there, is a little bit too boring. That beginning 40 minutes, 45 minutes that we have to wait before we see Totoro for the first time,
Mhm.
it's a little bit of a struggle to get through. Whereas once we meet him the first time, and then it's like the 10 minutes maybe in between when we like see him the next time, gets
Mhm.
a little bit more interesting. With that being said, I gave it 4 stars and is 14 on my list.
I think my opinion is the same here, Ryan. It it's weird. It really does that thing that you mentioned where it you want more of it, and by the time it ends, you're like, oh, like it is. I feel like there's another movie out there that does the exact same thing, and I can't think of it right now. But it might be a Disney movie. But yeah, when you have an icon for a movie, you're not gonna to not use it so much seems odd, seems off, and yeah. So I agree.
Um, I I'm fearful to say what I'm about to say next. I this might be okay. Totoro is very iconic, right? Let's look at like like the like things like very iconic. I agree with your sentiment. The sentiment that both of you guys are making. Um, this is unfortunately for me one of the top three. I'm thinking of two others in my head right now. The top three that just works better if you're a kid or you have a kid in the room. Like I just like I'm not gonna call it juvenile because it's obviously dealing with some really like tough concepts, but while a majority of like the action in the movie has like this like kind of like kid centric sort of like examination of the world in that way, I think it really works a lot better if you're a kid. Not that it doesn't work if you're an adult. But I did not watch this as a child. I watched this like in college, like a few years ago. Don't want to age myself too badly there. And I walked away. There's like a concept in like just like movie criticism in general where there's like things that you can like appreciate as like iconic and like like they did something like amazing for the genre, and then there's like movies that also do those things but that you like enjoyed the experience as well, right? Totoro I did not terribly enjoy watching. It's not a bad movie, but I just did not. It didn't do as much for me as I wanted it to be, which is not true with other Ghibli movies that are considered to be like the best. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna leave
Can
it.
I ask you one question and then we'll
Sure,
move on to the next movie?
sure.
So, one thing that I love about Totoro is the final act because it is
Mm.
balls to the wall insane, right? And I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but you guys know something that involves the child.
Okay.
And so my question is, how you said like this movie is for children, right? What do you think about that final act with the sandal
That
and
is
the pond?
okay. That is kind of interesting. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, okay. Like, all right for that thing there. Well, okay. Maybe if I can reframe, maybe if I can reframe a little bit. I don't think this is a movie like necessarily for kids, but I do think that a certain perspective is gained. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that maybe I wish I was a little more innocent watching this movie. I'm like maybe like grouchy old man. I'm like, oh, so this, like where's the like oh, so you're forest spirits, okay? Like like what does that mean? Like like and everything. Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to understand more of the why or the how when I think kids are more focused on what they're going to do. It's just a different approach. I know what you're talking about, Ryan.
Mm,
I agree. And yeah, sorry. Whew, I was kind of scared for this one, so I'm glad I think I'm relatively unscathed. Relatively unscathed.
yeah,
I'm approaching it critically, but
Yeah.
it's still iconic. So
yeah, I agree. So let's move on now to the first work that isn't a Miyazaki work
mm,
in the studio, Grave of the Fireflies.
wow.
Yeah, so this takes us to what I believe is the horror movie on this list.
Whoa, dude, that's not what I was thinking
Oh,
when you said this. I solidly think this is a war movie,
yeah, no, yeah,
right?
it's one of those
Right.
like,
Yeah.
um, I think I've talked about these types of films before, but it's hot. Oh, yeah. when people ask like, "Oh, what movie is this?" and it's like you don't want to know. Trust me. um, it's the saddest movie that I've ever. One of the saddest movies that I've ever seen. Top 5, maybe top 3. And it's one of the. It's I think it's a rare 5-star movie that I never want to watch again.
Oh, dude.
Mm.
So co-signed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I rewatched it for this.
Nice, so I watched it twice happily.
So
Cool.
I
Ryan
rewatched
loved
this
this.
one.
He loved it the entire time. We saw him.
So 5 stars. It is ranked 4th on my
Whoa.
list.
It's quite
It's
a high
ranked
bar.
4th. It is devastating, emotionally eviscerating.
Yeah.
It truly is one of the saddest movies that I think you will ever watch. And I think there's a lot of background information with the movie that we'll talk about in the part 2. Involving, what the movie is about. What is it trying to say? I think that Takahata does a very good job with showing emotion
Yeah.
in his movies. And I think this is one of Takahata's best, if not is his best, that he made.
I think I'd agree to that. It's the most serious theme, and does he do a lot of the war ones? Not all of them. He doesn't do all of them.
Yeah. He leans serious.
He does a lot of like emotion. A lot of his
Yeah.
stuff is dealing with emotions.
Yeah,
Although he also-
that's a way to put it. I think that's
also-
a vague way to put an emotional
Are
turmoil.
you gonna say the Yamadas?
No, well, also that and Pompoco.
Yeah.
Which is not exactly, we kind of just, because I was like, oh, only yesterday. I'm like, yeah, that's another kind of one of those ones that I was asking you to do thing. I'll kind of wrap up my things and kind of, with you guys with Grave of the Fireflies. Extremely co-signed. I had a friend that actually recently, they're releasing some Ghibli films, re-releasing them for the big screen.
Yep.
In some
Just
locations.
recently, this one.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yes. And so I had a friend that was like, oh, it was like funny. That was like in a group chat at like 4 p.m. or whatever. They were like, hey, I'm about to go see Grave of the Fireflies. Like, it's a little unfortunate. My friend had to like bail to do something else, so I'm gonna do it. Go in and watch this alone. And I was like,
alone.
I was like, wait, like I wanted to be like, I'm like screaming, I'm like stop, because and of course he was extremely devastated by it and wishes that he hadn't seen it alone. What more needs to be said? It's beautiful. It's one of my favorites. It's unbelievably devastating. Right up there for me with some of my favorite live action sad films, as in films like you said, Nick, that I'm just not gonna watch again. I just don't need to go through that again. Butterfly and the Diving Bell, and Ordinary People. If you guys have ever seen that film.
I haven't watched Ordinary People yet, but that's gonna be a one-time, I think, for me too.
Yeah, don't watch that one alone. Actually, really don't watch that one alone. But
okay.
It's Grave of the Fireflies, great movie, but just probably the saddest Ghibli film. Important message.
Yeah.
By far.
So,
And got it on Steelbook.
that was beautiful.
New release Steelbook. It is like
God
selling out
damn.
everywhere.
Oh, that's really nice.
Gosh darn. You know what I kind of... Okay, can I actually... Sorry, one quick rant on Grave of the Fireflies, stuff like that. I know... So, sorry. Imagine you hadn't watched Grave of the Fireflies, right? And this is bad for anyone that's listening on... not looking at the video that showed Ryan what he just showed. That's... Dare I say, almost, whimsical and, beautiful.
Yeah, and then you're gonna watch it and be like...
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I think unfortunately Ghibli maybe retroactively was like almost like, oh, this is not as, like it's just like put like a nice bow on it, and it's like you could say that it's like a devastating war film. You guys were really bold. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
It
it's
paints like a
okay.
somber picture because I mean there's a lot of symbolism there with the fireflies, and it's probably the most beautiful scene in the movie that the
Hmm.
cover is where they're sitting in the field and this well no actually I don't know if it's a field or they're just imagining it in a dream, I forget, but
Hmm.
and there's a bunch of fireflies around them, and it is a beautiful beautiful picture, and it's one of those like hauntingly beautiful moments of peace in war
Mm.
that sometimes happens. So yeah, I mean I interestingly enough, according to IMDb, Grave of the Fireflies is not rated.
Whoa.
Mm.
Whoa. That actually kind of speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. It's not really like an R-rated film,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Not a kids
I
movie.
I don't think it's for kids.
Mm-mm.
I really don't think. I don't think you would understand the full everything that's going on here until you're like double digits, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. At
You
least,
need to have that.
you
Yeah.
know.
You need to have that World
Um,
War II talk in your American history class.
This would be a great film to show, I feel like, in history class.
Um, it's so funny because, like, sorry, I say this with the most cultural sensitivity I can muster, please. So just like understand where I'm coming from. Like Japan is about really good at making films about their shared national loss
Yeah.
in World War II.
Yeah.
And it was the first time, and we've never really had to go through this as a nation. It was the first time they lost, like ever, like in like a really major way.
Mm.
And yeah, it really changed the way that Japanese people feel about Japan and like all that stuff. So yeah, it's very, very poignant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah. Let's go on to our next one. A little bit more, very lighthearted. Uh, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Wa- wash down the palate. Wash down the
Yeah,
palate.
wash
Okay.
down, wash it down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki's Delivery Service. I love this one. I'm just gonna say right now, this is number 2 on my list.
Really?
Whoa.
5 stars.
Wow.
I
Whoa.
Okay.
love Kiki's Delivery Service.
Gosh darn.
Uh,
Apparently
I
so.
think that the themes in this movie are very mature
Yeah.
and very true of like what people can go through. I I feel like I've gone through the problems that Kiki has gone through in
Mm.
this film. Doing something that you love so much that you start to lose interest in it.
Mm.
You know, I think it has a very powerful message. Uh, I think it's a great film for kids to watch. I know my students that I show this movie to absolutely adore it. Uh, it's one that they ask to watch again. They also ask for Totoro again, but when they watch the first 40 minutes, they're not into it. They're just doing whatever they want to do, and then Totoro shows up in there. But Kiki is a very big hit for them, and I could totally get it. I understand. It also has such a banger for the intro credits.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. Sorry, that's funny. I haven't watched Kiki in a very long time. I believe I myself was like 8 or 9, like when I watched it. I've been meaning to go back to it. I remember those credits all these years later, Ryan.
Mhm.
This is also kind of weird, and something that we're going to talk about like more and more as like, we get like more into Ghibli. There is like a concept that Miyazaki seemed to be very interested in, which is like uh, not only journeys of self discovery, but also sort of journeys of self doubt. Um, Simultaneously, I don't know if you guys know this. Like, it's considered like a trope or kind of like a weird thing in Ghibli that is like kind of like referenced in a lot of other movies or this character trope makes appearances in a lot of other movies.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of a kind of precocious girl
Mm.
character. And I wouldn't even be drawing special attention to it if it didn't show up, honestly, quite a lot.
Over and over and over again.
Pretty frequently, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's sort of become like a meme. Like, it's like, oh, this is another, like, Ghibli, I believe Kiki is not a redhead, but there's
No.
something a joke about it. Redheaded girls always get the best parts in Ghibli movies, but we'll kind of go there. I know one coming up is a really big contender for that, but anyway,
When
I
I was,
like Kiki's. That's
yeah,
all I have to say. Sorry.
I think Kiki is a great, beautiful film. To not have watched it. Now, going on.
Oh my gosh, Nick!
So we are up
Let's
to
do it.
only yesterday. And Nick,
I have
have you seen
You've
this
I
seen
one?
have,
it!
and it's quite funny because like hearing you guys, it's quite funny.
Yeah, wait a second. You've seen this one?
Yeah.
Okay,
This one like
interesting.
attracted me
Okay.
for some reason. I think because it's a slightly different animation style. It's not as. It looks more like colored, like I mean like like
Yes.
drawn with a crayon.
Like inked,
Or
yeah.
That's
crayon?
gonna be a lot of Takahata.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're gonna talk about that a lot for some of his other projects.
And hearing you guys talk about Kiki's Delivery Service, it's almost the opposite of Kiki's Delivery Service. Does that make sense? It's almost like a parallel dimension of Kiki's Delivery Service and 20, 30 years later. Whatever it is. It's not clear, I think. Because I like how it's this reflection of how when we're kids, we want to do these things and we're trying to succeed and we're pressured to succeed. And then when we're adults, it's kind of like, well, we can kind of do whatever we want. If you like
Yeah.
doing something, then do it, even if it's just working on a
Okay.
farm with people you just randomly meet, and for one summer, it's okay.
Yeah. It's I kind of wanna link it into only yesterday I saw as part of there was like three times different points in my life I was watching Ghibli films. This is the middle one where I was like I should probably watch these because people talk about them a lot and everything. I actually heard about this first as it was an inspiration for I don't know if you guys know Makoto Shinkai. He's a pretty big name in Japanese animation right now. He directed Your Name.
Yep.
Oh.
And Weathering with You, and a lot of the kind of like what people are viewing as like the second big wave of like high quality Japanese animation. I am not surprised that this was a thing for him. He's very interested in like you can have the best plans, best laid plans, but sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's like something he's like interested in very deeply, like across like all his works. Maybe the same way that Miyazaki is interested in like exploring things about self doubt, and also
Yes.
airplanes,
Yeah.
and also
Yeah.
environmentalism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll kind of get there. But
Something strange. Here's a weird thing about Only Yesterday for me personally is, given all of that, like that is such a great theme. It was the most forgettable for me.
yeah, it's not a very memorable.
No, 'cause
that sounds bad, but
I think the girl in it, or the girl and the slash woman in it,
Yeah.
is just a little cuckoo.
I don't feel like I identify with her as a character. But that's also probably because I'm a guy and.
Well, yeah, there's that piece to it. Just
Yeah.
certain of her mannerisms and her the verbalization of her self doubt that we get throughout the entire movie, to me seemed more like you're talking to yourself a little bit too much here, than you know what I mean, from a studio who does not turn away from like verbalizing inner dialogues, verbalizing, having thoughts be overlaid. I was surprised that they show it this way.
Mhm. So I'm a big fan of Only Yesterday. This is one of two of my 4.5 stars out of 5, and
Okay.
it is ranked 7th on my list.
Wow.
This one, I'm gonna disagree with that. It's not like as memorable because I feel like this one really sticks with me,
Okay.
and I think it has to do with the animation style. I love how Takahata, when we're in like the present day, everything is fully fleshed out, drawn, detailed. And as
Mm.
soon as we go into her memories and she's thinking about past events, it becomes more of that style where a lot of the details aren't there. And
Mm.
maybe she misremembers something and then fixes it in the memory and
It's
it
very
gets
cool.
kind of drawn in. I love that that's how he kind of does that. And when it's a little bit closer to her in the modern day, we see a little bit more detail within that memory.
Things
I
sharpen,
think,
right?
yeah, and I kind of agree with you in the sense of like what sticks with me with this one besides just the animation. Like, is it just the slice of life feel of it? Is it the music in it? Something I mentioned a lot. The music is amazing in this one too, but I don't know if I could answer that because I could just like see this one in my head, like just moments within this movie. And I can't pinpoint what exactly it is about the film that makes it stick with me as much as it does.
Okay.
I'm glad that it speaks to you in that way.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a bad movie at all. Like again,
Right.
because it was least memorable to me. Just I did not think that it was bad. Um, I found it unrelatable, and I think that I've always wanted to know what I wanted to be, and I think I encountered some tension in there for me internally about having doubts, um, and I know that's because of my personal experience anyway. So
Hmm.
I definitely, yeah, I can understand why it would be so greatly liked, and I agree with you about the animation style. It's very artsy and very, um, it's a cool intentional thing that they do with the details of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, we're up to Porco Rosso. Nick, have you seen this one?
Nope.
Oh God, darn it.
All right, we got a pig, we got a plane, boom, 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 shooting,
Uh,
World
uh,
War II, weird romance with pig, with child.
no,
And
no. Okay,
I know, it's
I'm
very
gonna,
clear that there isn't. It just, yeah.
I'm gonna have to slow. I'm gonna have to slow you down just a little bit there. This movie is awesome. This movie's really
Yes.
awesome. You should see it, Nick.
Yeah, I
Um,
would like to. Yeah.
it is also, if you don't see it for any other reason,
Mhm.
I believe it's important in the Ghibli canon as like the first time Miyazaki was like, I really just want to like get into the engineering of planes and like the
Mm.
way planes fly and how you can animate that. It's awesome in that regard. It's
Yeah.
awesome as a sort of melancholy romance
With a
film
big.
at times with the pig, and the character of the pig is just so good.
Mm.
He's just
Yes.
really good.
It,
He's just like a really
yeah.
good character. So
It is 10 on my list. It is 4 stars that I have
Nice.
given it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna bump it. I would bump it to 4.5. I think it's a really good one. But there is some pacing issues. But
Yeah.
obviously, not like our pacing issues. Maybe we don't have enough time to talk about it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Funny.
what's next?
Very
Yeah.
What's
meta.
next?
Very meta, Bill.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
All right, we're up to Pom Poko. I feel like I don't even need to ask for this one, Nick. If you've
No,
seen this one
no,
or
I
not.
have not. I have not. And I guess we skip Ocean Waves. I haven't seen Ocean Waves, but I know that was a TV film that gets
Oh
lumped
Yeah.
God,
into Studio Ghibli, but I think we should pass on that one.
Oh yeah,
I
don't worry. I was gonna mention that a little bit more towards the end, but we could even mention it here. That is one that is 23rd out of 24 on my list.
Okay.
Uh, it is Dog Water,
Okay.
Ocean Waves.
Now, maybe this is a nuanced take, but the only thing I've heard about Ocean Waves is that I should waste my time. I've
Yeah,
heard it's not good. So,
it is
yeah.
not good. There is queer baiting in it.
Whoa!
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
Okay,
what
now
I
I
hear.
want to.
and
Like
Now I
should
want
have
to
been
see it.
should have
if
been
that's-
queer and then
no,
wasn't.
no, this
Like should
is
have been queer,
this isn't
very
good.
queer, but then is not queer. And it's like, what? Wait a second.
And the girl, like, romance in it, she is one of the worst written, like, female characters in all of Ghibli.
Like offensive,
Offensively
like
bad.
offensive to women as a
Yes.
character. Whoa. Okay. Well, now, God, now, see, you
Don't do
can't
it.
do this. You can't do
Don't
this.
do
Now
it.
I want to know if it's really okay. Whatever. That's fine.
It's
I'll leave
bad.
it be.
It's
I'll
bad.
leave it be.
All
I'll
right.
leave it be.
Pompoko. Nick hasn't seen it, so have you seen this one, Bill?
Nope. I
Oh,
actually
all
haven't
right,
either.
all right.
So,
Oh,
Ryan, you're
all right.
sole delegate.
Here we go.
This is the first one.
Very
First one I'm
quick.
taking.
Mr. Krabs is in it. It's
What?
Yeah.
Ito
Clancy?
Takada.
Nice.
Yes, he
No
is.
way!
He slips into
Okay.
the accent a few times.
This is the beginning. This is the beginning of American actors and these things. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It
Not the
is.
beginning.
J.K. Simmons also in it. A lot of fun.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
I gave it
Yes.
3.5 stars. I have it ranked right above Ponyo. It is on my list 17th out of 24. Um, it is kind of weird. They have balls, like they showed their
Oh.
balls.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, there's a Nightmare Festival part, which is awesome. It's the best scene in the entire movie. But I feel like there's a lot of issues that I have with it, including like a narration throughout that just kind of is weird.
Okay.
Uh, that's what we're gonna say about Pompoko.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Next, we get
What?
to
I.
my favorite.
Wait.
Your favorite?
Okay.
My favorite. What I have ranked number one. Whisper of the Heart.
Wow. That is really crazy. I want to addendum something that I said really quick, and you were alluding to it, Nick. I totally forgot that Michael Keaton voiced Porco Rosso.
And
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst is
What?
Kiki.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah. She's an American actress
wait.
with a German citizenship.
Was that at the time? No way.
I don't know.
Kirsten Dunst couldn't have been, because Kiki's from '89, right? Was Kirsten Dunst like
Young.
young?
Yeah.
She would've been very young,
Yeah,
but-
pre-Spider-Man,
okay.
I think. Yeah, it would be
Oh, for
pre-Spider-Man.
sure. Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But sorry, she would have literally been a child. She would have been
Yeah, I
like
think so.
the age of Kiki, presumably.
Probably close to it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And since we're saying this, SpongeBob and Patrick are in Porco Rosso. That you could hear their accents if you listen very closely.
That's nice.
And Cary Ells is also in it, and he is going to be in a lot of other Studio Ghibli movies.
Cary Ells is everywhere, and you're totally right. He plays like the main villain.
Yeah, and he is in Whisper of the Heart as the
Yeah.
Baron.
Now, reeling us back here. Okay, I really wanted to see. I'll do full disclosure. I really wanted to see Whisper of the Heart after you told me, Ryan, that it's your favorite one. Now I feel like I need to see this. Okay.
Yeah.
What's so good about it?
I think that there's such a charm to this movie. There's a very cute romance that takes place in the movie. I think that there's a lot of emotions that are felt that are very relatable. In terms of like, what do I want to do with my life? What is like, where am I supposed to be in this world? What am I supposed to do? Do I need to depend on someone to be able to do those things? Can I prove to myself that I am able to do this seemingly difficult task, something that I've never had to do, while also trying to live up to my family's expectations or maybe the expectations that I have for myself? I think these are all realistic issues that the main character Shizuku goes through that I also feel like that I've related to. I think there's a corniness to this movie, which is through country roads, which I adore it. There's one of the best scenes, I think, in animation involving Shizuku and the boy that she likes with singing Country Roads. And it shows her being able to break out of her shell more than she ever has. And it's a very sweet and tender moment. I know that quality-wise, it's probably not the best. Like if we're comparing quality between Spirited Away to Whisper of the Heart, Spirited Away is a better movie in terms of quality. But I can't put aside my feelings that I have towards this movie and the emotions that it made me feel compared to Spirited Away.
Interesting.
And for what it's worth, Bill, it might be one of my least favorites. Yeah, and
Whoa!
But
Our
I
first
don't-
big,
again, I
our
don't
first
think-
fight.
I
Our
don't-
first fight.
I don't think it's a
This is
bad
so
movie.
sad.
It is a nice slice of life, coming of age movie. I just think it dragged.
Whoa!
I do think it dragged. The relationship takes way too long to develop, and I don't. At the end of it, I don't really feel convinced that they do care for each other.
Whoa!
However, I still agree with what Ryan said about like I love the animation style. I love what it does with the music, but not with Country Roads. I think that was the thing to me. Here's the thing. Here's the main point. I think it was a little overdone with the Country Road. At the beginning of it was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Apparently Country Roads was very famous during that time. But I think it was just after the 5th or 6th time it gets sung in the in the film, I was no longer charmed. But that's not to say it was a bad movie. I still think it was a very cute slice of life. It calls it a teen romance movie, but it almost feels younger than that. Would you agree, Ryan?
No, I think it's teen because they're about to be in high school.
Oh,
So
I guess so. That
that's
would be like
13,
13, 14.
literally.
Yeah, it's not high
Okay.
school teen, it's middle school teen. Yeah.
I have obviously not seen the film, so I can't contribute a whole lot. But I'm perplexed because usually based on like one of an extreme recommendation from one of you, and like such a not recommend from the other. I just usually I can tell who usually I can tell oh I think I'm gonna like this movie based on like what Ryan is talking about, what he likes about it. I don't know, which makes me want to watch this movie even more.
No, watch it. Yeah.
Well, of course I have to see Ocean Waves before this one.
Oh God.
I'll wash it down. Anyway, cool. I'm excited to watch that one. Nice.
Yeah, and I also want to say, Nick, when you watch more of them, like more Studio Ghibli movies,
Yeah.
like when you start watching a little bit more of the bottom barrel,
Right. Then it makes
you're
more
gonna
sense.
you're gonna see
Yeah.
that it's
Well, that's not a good recommendation for this
No,
freaking movie.
but I'm just saying
it's not as bad as
saying
other
it's one of the worst that you've seen, but then
Yeah.
you haven't sat through Tales from Earthsea,
No.
or you haven't
Yeah.
sat through Ocean
Yeah.
Waves or Earwig and the Witch,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that
no, I
even
haven't.
considered? Yeah, sorry. Is Earwig and the Witch actually considered
Ghibli?
Studio
Yes,
Ghibli?
it is.
Yeah. Right before.
What?
Before
It
Inherent.
is.
I am shocked to hear that. Oh
Yep.
well. It's a television one. It's
Yeah.
like okay. I do remember that. Didn't that come out during COVID and everybody was like,
Yep.
"Woo!" Okay. Anyway.
Because we'll get to it.
We'll get
We
to
are
that.
gonna
Yeah, I don't
get
wanna skip
to it.
ahead. I don't wanna skip
Jesus,
ahead.
take the wheel.
What is
All right.
next? Yeah.
We're up to Princess Mononoke. Have you seen this one, Mike?
No.
Oh, God.
Which is too bad. 'cause
Banger.
It seems pretty nice.
Banger.
It seems like
Banger.
cool. It seems like a cool.
Banger.
A cool.
It's like an
film.
action film.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
not an action. There's a lot of good.
Oh
action.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
So I have it ranked 6th on my list. It is the bottom of the 5 stars that I have. It is the last 5-star that I have.
Okay.
The weakest 5-star. What do you like about it? That causes you to make it 5-star. Yeah.
The world building. I think that this is one of the better worlds that Miyazaki makes. We haven't gotten to Spirited Away yet, which is going to be, but I think that, like I said, the world building, great. It's always keeping you on edge. There's so much happening within this plot and what our main character has to go through that there's never a dull moment in this movie. And even when it tries to kind of get to a more relaxing, okay, we just had a big action sequence, we're just going to kind of tone things down. You're still on the edge of your seat because you're something is going to happen. Something's about to happen. We know we just saw this from this other scene. We're just waiting for it to finally come to fruition. I also think that the main characters in this movie are amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll co-sign that. This is one of my young watches. Perhaps I was a little too young to fully appreciate it. I remember it being pretty perilous. I remember that was kind of one thing. The action, I've since watched certain featurettes regarding how good the action is. Very well animated. If you had problems with the animation of Whisper of the Heart, Nick, I don't think you're gonna have those issues really here.
Okay.
I forget which one we said. It was Whisper of the Heart that you had a bit of a issue with, right? Animation wise.
No.
In terms of quality, which one was that?
Only yesterday.
Only yesterday. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I don't want to misrepresent that. Yeah, no, Princess Mononoke is very, 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 very pretty to look at. Not the most pretty to look at, which I believe we'll be getting to soon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
very good movie.
All right. Now, after Princess Mononoke, this, this one's just a funny one, and it's just kind of thrown in the middle of two very big projects.
Right. Yeah.
Another Takahata. It is My
Yep.
Neighbors, the Yamadas, which I'm going to assume, Nick, that you have
What?
not seen this one.
No.
All right, Bill, have you seen this one?
Yes, and I'm actually Lamau. The fact that it's in between Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fast track to the friggin' and sorry, I don't hate My Neighbors the Yamadas. It is kind of a joke that it's in between these two though. They're
Yeah.
just taking a quick break, quick breather, like just quick breather before heat into heat. Okay, I mean. It's a charming slice of life. It is kind of interesting that it's what Takahata would concern himself with. Just very interesting. The animation style is pretty interesting in this one too. I guess that's where I can kind of land with it. You know.
Yeah, I
Like,
think the vignettes and the different like changes in animation style within it are very cool.
yeah.
Uh, I gave it 3 stars. It's ranked 19 out of 24. Uh, it's very funny. My biggest issue with it is that the best character in the movie, Nono-chan, only has like the first big vignette. After that, she's basically nowhere to be found in the movie. And in the manga that this is based off of, that was called My Neighbor the Yamadas, changed its name to Nono-chan because she became the fan favorite character. So,
That's
Wow.
funny.
you know,
Okay, that is so interesting that this was adapted from a manga rather than original work. I feel that. Okay, I
yeah,
really feel that. I really feel that. Okay, the kind of comic strippy, thing to thing, kind of like thing, like panels, like almost like panels of animation, like in there. Okay, wow, that really just connected something together in my head. I didn't know that. Okay,
Mhm.
all right,
Yeah.
wow.
So now we're up to what people probably are like the popular opinion of what is the best Studio Ghibli movie, which is Spirited Away.
Yeah,
Probably the most known within the studio, for good reason. 5 stars for me. It is ranked third on my list. Uh, I really don't think there's like issues to this movie. I think that it it's a journey that it just brings you on a ride that you fall in love with, and it's just something you keep on going back to because it's just so well made. The music is phenomenal, the voice acting is great, and it has a good ending.
I don't. Yeah, sorry, Nick.
So yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I agree. It captures so much. It says so much. I think it's relevant that it's relevant to say that this is the first Studio Ghibli movie in the new millennium. And the consumerism and consumption and gluttony that it visualizes really is representative of a lot of first world nations, um, and ignorant parents. There's something you said there. It is really. It almost feels like the same energy as The Boy and the Heron because I feel like um, the animators and Miyazaki just creates so many characters for this film that it almost seems like we're watching a collection of his mind. You know, like a collection of his mind's characters that we won't see again. Mostly won't see again. Some of them, I think a couple of them will come up again throughout some movies. But yeah, I really liked it. Really liked his message. It was my first Studio Ghibli, which is tough because then you're just kind of working your way back, which feels
Yes,
weird.
yes, yeah. You dove into to the lovely end of the pool, and now you gotta float through some trash.
Yep.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What's it? My kind of two things I want to speak on it in particular. One is sort of like a meta thing about where Ghibli was at as a studio in general. Um, I believe it was '98. Good year, good year, very good year for some of us. Is when Disney acquired the rights for distribution of Ghibli films,
Mm.
and I guess it's pretty funny because they were probably like, I know that the first one they released was Kiki's Delivery Service. That makes a lot of sense, honestly. That
Mm-hmm.
just makes a lot of sense for Disney to release that. I'm sure they took one look at the Yamadas and were like like kind of like like
Yeah.
not terribly interested, and then
Mm-hmm.
Spirited Away as the first new release after the acquisition was, I know, heavily pushed. I saw this like as a child, at the time, and I'm really glad I did, because I think that there's a lot to be said. Just the framing of the movie itself presents a really truthful kind of view into how scary it can be to be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sort of childhood as this concept of making it on your own, figuring things out sometimes without the help of your parents. So really, there's a lot about maturity, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
knowing who to trust and what to trust, and like
Yeah.
instincts versus it is such a cool world, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Spirited Away, and lots of iconic things from it that would become that would rival Totoro himself
Yeah.
as icons of the series. Um, I'm not talking about the parents as pigs, by the way. Even though I know a lot of people think that that's like a kind of funny, kind of tongue-in-cheek thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Yeah. All right. So we're up to our next one, which is The Cat Returns. Uh,
I have
I'm gonna go on a limb.
I have not seen it. I've also heard, but I have not seen it, but I've also heard after watching uh, uh, Whisper of the Heart. Some people say this is Whisper of the Heart's sequel. Have you guys seen that theory?
Well, it's the same character, right?
No.
What?
See,
So
that's the
this is
thing.
what I want to talk about with it.
Hmm.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. I have not seen it, so I'm speaking out of my ass. What? Are
yeah.
you okay?
Okay.
This is
So
interesting.
this movie is imagine, and this also watching this has made me like Whisper of the Heart even more
Oh,
because this
good
movie
viewing for
is
you.
like a story that Shizuku would write.
Oh.
Mm.
So the movie itself, it features the Baron, which is a character that she ends up writing about, and as you read it, it's very silly. It gets a little bit like you have your antagonist who is Tim Curry, amazing voice acting work in the movie. It's so incredibly funny, this movie. Uh, I have a lot of fun with it. Of course, there's a lot of like issues with it, mainly that it's so short. It's like an hour and like 10 minutes, not even. Uh, I like this one. I gave it 3.5 stars. I have it ranked right above Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. It is 15th for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so that's what I got to say about it.
Okay.
I, I, that is very interesting. I always, okay, interesting. Maybe I need to, okay, wow. So it looks like a lot of answers, a lot of things can be answered by just watch the movie, I guess.
Mm.
I guess Nick, it's required viewing for you, dude. Maybe I'll have to, jettison while I still can.
Mm.
But I, it is funny because I can't help but think of Cat in the Hat whenever it's like
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
like, you would have thought that if they're going to distribute in America, they would have changed things around. There's only one cat, right, in America that's like linked to animation, but well, obviously there's multiple, but yeah,
Yeah.
the cat returns reminds me a lot of that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So we're
agree.
going to continue on to Howl's Moving Castle. And unfortunately, I do not have this steelbook with me. I have it at my school right now because it was the movie that I was showing at my school at the end of the year.
if I could take the mic really quick on this one,
Yep.
this is my favorite Ghibli movie. I watched it. I did not watch it until my kind of college days, like retrospective, and I don't think this is one of the Ghibli movies where it's like you almost sort of you can be a child, but you're not gonna necessarily gain anything or lose anything from like a younger perspective. I Yeah, there's a lot to say about like this movie that's really good. To its themes, to honestly a very good English dub. I'm always jump scared by Billy Crystal as Calcifer. He was having a real
Yep.
moment with
Yeah.
that in Monsters Inc. I
Oh
thought,
yeah.
hello here. Like, it's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous
Yeah.
sometimes. Of course, Christian Bale as Hal himself.
That's what I was gonna say.
I do struggle with something with this movie, though, and it's a good struggle to have. I'm always trying to kind of define for me what I think it's about. And so I'm kind of interested to hear your guys' perspective on that. I'm assuming you've seen this, Nick?
Yes, I have.
Okay, cool. So that is good. Two are better than one. So what do you guys think about this movie?
Yeah, I'll let you go, Nick.
Yeah. There's a lot I think to say about this movie, specifically because it was our friend Dan's favorite Studio Ghibli movie.
I didn't know that.
And this
Good
episode
taste.
is dedicated to him. And watching it, I watched from that lens. It was really because I used it as a moment to like kind of connect with Dan more. And I think just watching, I could tell just like I felt like Dan is this combination. Dan's personality was this combination of Howl, but also Turnip Head. Even though Turnip Head does not really have a line until the end.
I was like, okay.
But
Yeah.
just like the kindness of like, there are a couple moments where Sophie like needs something, and Turnip Head's like, yeet, all right, I got it, BRB, and then just appears with it, and like that was what brought me back and really reminded me of Dan, which was really nice. And I think it's such a cool, fantastic world that's built. Admittedly, I think the character, it leaves me wanting. I think the flaw that I see with the Howl's Moving Castle is it makes me want to know the characters more. Howl is such a cool character. Sophie deserves more fleshing out. Turnip Head, for those who know, he deserves, I think, more fleshing out after what happens at the end. I think like that's its only flaw, because other than that, it really like I think the theme embodies just being like confident and kind to like two tropes that don't often get visualized in film, that like you can be confidently kind, you can be proud and compassionate, and still just be like looking out for people. But I don't know, I think it tackles a lot with that trope, and with some like mystical adventure with all like the moving castle, how it goes from place to place, and the door switches modes, and it can be in a different place and time, in very much like shoot, I forget what movie also does that. I wanted to say Monster House, but that's not it.
Zathora.
Jesus, I'm literally like,
That's it.
like I was
It's
like, oh,
Wait, is it Zuthora? I think that's it.
with the board game.
Yeah, where
the
the guy,
futuristic
it's
Jumanji.
very
Yeah,
reminiscent of
futuristic
Jumanji and Zuthora. Yes, that's it. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I think it was like 4.5 stars for me.
Sorry, dude. I was hanging on to your every word, and then you started talking about Monster House, and it was like you like put a bullet in my head. I was like, and then Zathora is better. Zathora is better. I was like, Monster House? What? Like what about you though, Ryan? What about you though? I know we're
Okay. Let me start with it is 4 stars for me, and it is ranked ninth on the movies.
interesting.
Um, I think that Sophie is an amazing character. I think an issue that it seems like a lot of people have with it is they don't understand Sophie's curse. that she's
Mm.
afflicted with. But I feel like it's kind of, I don't want to say obvious, but like I feel like whenever she is self-doubting or
Yeah.
being self-deprecating to herself is
Yeah.
when she gets old, and then when she is more confident, she becomes younger, and when she shows love towards herself is when she gets younger.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know where that's lost in translation for some people, but I feel like something we talk about as media literacy nowadays isn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, where I have issues is I think the ending is a little bit rushed, kind of what we say with like Turnip Head instantly like turning into the prince. And
Mm-hmm.
the only reason that we know the prince is missing is because of a throwaway line by a random character
Right.
in like an alleyway that says, "Oh, the prince is missing. I wonder
Right.
where he is."
Right.
Yeah,
Like
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
and then he
Listeners, don't
shows
worry
up. He
about it.
is like, "Hello, I am the missing prince."
And it's like, oh, okay.
You got me
Yeah,
there.
and
Yeah.
the main villain of the movie, um, Suleiman, she stops the war because Howl fell in love. So, what was the point of the war in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, there's weird things like that that is where I have like the little issues with it. Um, what I love about it, like I said, is I think Sophie is a great character. I think that Howl, the story surrounding Howl and his heart is interesting. It reminds me of Dan. Howl just reminds me so much of Dan. Uh, it's whenever I watch that movie, that's all I could see.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
music is great. Apparently, the movie is anti-war about the Iraq War.
Yup. Miyazaki's
Um,
opinion. Yeah.
yeah, doesn't
I
always
don't
come
quite
across.
see
Uh,
that. Yeah, sorry, I read that. I was like, where? But it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and
It's very
with all that,
abstract.
literally, with all that being said, I still have it 4 stars. It is ranked ninth for me. I really enjoy watching this movie.
Yeah, to put a bow on it, I know a lot of people will call this. It's an anti-war film. I will say. I think.
Yeah.
It's
But-
it's not. I don't think it's as clear as like, oh, this is like supposed to be about the Iraq conflict. I don't know. You should have framed it a little differently if you wanted to really make it about that.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that it's Dan's favorite movie. It's a really good one. I prefer to think of this movie more as an exploration of the good things that can happen, self-love, and also, and something that has been touched on and will be touched on more in Ghibli films, the power of like the found family
Yeah.
and
Yes.
like found connections over like blood ties. And
Yeah.
that's kind of, I know we've talked a lot about House Moving Castle, but it deserves it. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
it does. Well, to move on to our next one, I'm going to assume that I'm
Nope.
the only one that has seen it. I don't know if you guys have. Tales from Earthsea.
It's the least. I know it's the least
Um,
rated, lowest rated by far.
I have seen this one.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
In my retro thing, I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
All right.
I'm cool.
That's
yeah,
fair.
not good.
It is-
Not good. Not
it's
good.
bad. It is
Yeah.
horrible. It
Yeah,
is
really bad.
22nd out of 24 for me. The one thing that I like about it is Willem Dafoe. And with that being said, it's just his voice acting. His
Right.
character sucks.
Yep.
It's not very
Yeah.
good. A lot of potential, a lot of world building you could do,
Mhm.
non-existent. Let's go to the next one, which is Ponyo.
Mm.
Ponyo, fishy in the sea.
Yeah.
And now, as you know, my first one ever, I didn't have the, I didn't remember it super well until I watched it again, like in college. I don't know how to feel about this movie.
Yeah.
I'll springboard it to you guys. I'll springboard it. I'm interested to see what you guys think.
Yeah, I like Sosuke and Ponyo's relationship. I think it's cute.
Mm.
I think that the mom should lose her license.
Yeah.
um,
For neglect.
Yeah.
And
I
her car
think-
license. Yeah. She should. First of
Yeah.
all, she should get in trouble because of neglect, and also because of her crazy driving. Yeah.
Mhm. I think one of the funniest moments is when she gets drunk and the husband goes by on the ship and is like trying to like, do like the talk to them, and she goes over. She's like, "Screw off, screw off, screw off, screw off." I think that moment is hilarious. Um, I don't really care for it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go out and say it's not the most interesting. It has cute moments. It has funny moments. Kids are gonna love it.
The kids
I
will
gave
love
it
it.
3.5 stars. I think it's ranked. Hold on, 22, 21, 20, 19. It's ranked 18th out of 24 for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
I just want to say so sorry. Well, I want to hear your thoughts, Nick. Have you seen this one?
I have.
Okay.
I pretty much am in agreement with Brian. We don't have to spend too much time on it because, yeah, it's a kids' film. Does it have to all make sense? I don't think it does because of the kids' film. I know there's a whole Disney aspect to this that we'll talk about in part two. Um, it doesn't match the same energy as the rest of Studio Ghibli, in my opinion.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
also, well, I guess I'll give it its positive mark is it's a beautiful one. The animation's beautiful.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I agree with you on that. No, once again, I'm gonna, kind of possess this. We're in the minority, guys. This is a pretty well beloved movie.
It is. Yeah.
It's a pretty well beloved movie. It will not be the first time or last time. I think, like maybe for each of us individually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not reaching for Ponyo. I'm gonna
Yeah.
still say it deserves its spot as a Ghibli film, though.
Yeah.
Mm.
Something I want to really round back to very quickly before we move on here, Tales from Earthsea that we just quickly shit on, was the first directorial effort of
Yeah.
Goro.
Yes.
Goro.
Miyazaki.
Yay.
Does not signal great things. But anyway, okay.
No.
I just wanted to say that before we move
Yeah.
too far out.
All right, we're moving on to Secret World of Arrietty. Have you guys watched it?
No.
What's it? No, but I'd like to. I understand it's a little controversial.
So, on my list, it is ranked 21 out of 24.
Ooh.
It is right above the bad movies. Um,
Barely.
it is fine. The villain sucks. I think it's a very cool idea that is not shown all that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget Mendler is fine in it. That- That's my thoughts about this one. It is fine. It's not great.
Yeah.
Kind of boring.
Mm-hmm. It's also one of the only two directed by Hiromasa Yonebayashi. Both of his films didn't do well. So.
Oh, we're going to talk about the next one. We're definitely going to talk about the next one from him.
I just want to say two quick things. Front and center, Ghibli redhead girl. I'm just gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Kind of interesting.
That's a good point.
By the way, sorry once again, and sorry I haven't seen this movie. I think I really want to now. Beloved one again, guys. People really like this one. People really like
Arrietty?
Arrietty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does have-
Maybe it's
it-
like maybe it's the charm of Ghibli. I mean, to be honest, like sorry, just I have not seen this. I think that like the whole Honey I Shrunk the Kids, like tiny world concept would probably work really well in a Ghibli film. But you're saying
That's the
you're
thing.
saying-
It should.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly boring.
Well,
Like, it's not done interesting at all. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is light years better.
wow. Okay. Wow.
Wow.
That is quite
All
a
right,
statement
there you
because
go.
that movie kind of blows. But anyway, okay. Anyway, at times. Sorry, Mr.
Yeah.
Ernest. But
All right.
okay.
Next, we've got From Up on Poppy Hill. Second
Right.
of the Goro Miyazaki movies, but this one written by Miyazaki, his dad.
Interesting.
Nick, let's let you front and center take this one.
I really liked this one. despite its incestual plotline.
Bro,
I'm
like,
sorry.
bro supports
I'm,
incest.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Come again. Come again.
I
Come
I
He
again.
ranked
I
this
haven't
one
seen
above
this
Whisper
one.
of the Heart.
I
What
did.
was?
Yes, I did. I okay. Cause okay, now here's the thing. There's a couple pieces here. I think this movie develops a high school relationship so accurately compared to Up on Poppy Hill, which now that I'm thinking about it was a younger relationship. But this feels like a high school. This is a high school relationship. If I remember correctly, it is definitely high schoolers. Um, and I feel like the writing around that, the oh my gosh, don't tell anybody I have a crush on him. Hey, she's got a crush on him. It doesn't exactly happen that way, but like it is that kind of like oh that like angst, that like embarrassment, and that like yeah that awkwardness of having a crush. But also think that look, I am not commenting on the choice to make it an incestual, make them be related after they get feelings for each other. However, I do think like with that choice, like okay, they're gonna be related. Spoiler alert. Um,
Mm.
I think it's the best way you could write something like that and have it not be too cringy. You know, they don't go full throttle with it. I I don't even know. I don't even remember if they even kiss. And
Mm.
I
They
think
don't kiss.
okay, thank you. So there's that tension and there's that big scene where like they're admitting how they feel. And I think there's this cringe because of it, but they don't that doesn't stop them. It's one of those things where like, well, love is love. They loved each other before they knew, so it's complicated, and they're not gonna act on it. But that doesn't mean that the heart still yearns, that we still fall in love because we fell in love first. And I'm not defending incestual relationships here. It sounds out of context. It sounds like I would be, but I think again, I think it's the perfect way to write an incest story that doesn't actually involve incest. I can't believe I just said those words, but it surprised me. I loved it. Also, I really loved the samba slash bossa nova music throughout the movie, and
Whoa.
so that that kept me going too.
Um, just quickly because it seems like Ryan is
No,
is
I was just looking
like
at Bill's reaction the
like
entire time Nick was talking, just hit me like,
I think sorry I was so like sorry I've clearly not seen this film even though I'd really like to but like sorry it's like it's just so casually like the incestuous relationship I was like what like like I'm like my Ghibli like I understand this to be, and with all love and respect, when it comes to Goro, Miyazaki movies considered the best. Or if you're
yes,
being
it is
really
definitely
brutal,
his best, definitely Goro's
Mm.
best movie.
if we're gonna be really brutal, his good one. you
Mm.
know. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit more, but I'm very excited to see this. I know a lot of people consider, like I believe we're gonna do Arrietty into Poppy Hill. Then I believe it's so correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Wind Rises
Yes.
next,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
then finishing off with the Tale of Princess Kaguya. This four chunk block is considered maybe not by us, but by the general populace at large to be a very solid grouping of the modern Ghibli movies. That's all I have to say.
I would half agree with that.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting because yeah, it
so
seems like you didn't like Arrietty.
Arrietty sucks to me. It is not bad. It's not one of the bad ones, but
Sure.
uh, from Up on Poppy Hill, I've given it 4 stars, and it is ranked 13th for me,
Okay.
Mm.
right above My Neighbor Totoro.
Okay.
Whoa.
Uh,
Okay.
yes. So I can literally tell you, I write in my review of it that the music is excellent. The music is such a bop in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's it is a very cute romance,
Mm-hmm.
and then the incest plot happens halfway through, and there's a moment within that plot after they go to the city and they're like at the train station, and they're like talking to each other, and then it becomes the I don't care if we're related, I want to be with you, and you're like, whoa, 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 wait, what are you saying right now?
So,
You
sorry,
can
just to
say
be clear,
that.
Ryan, Nick really likes that.
I don't know.
Nick really enjoys that. Nick is a big supporter. Let's just be clear.
Like I'm the Punisher meme where he's like, no, 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 no.
So good, so good. But yeah.
And
Yeah.
it has a happy ending that I won't say.
Mm-hmm.
The romance is very cute, leading up to the kind of figuring out, piecing together of, oh my god, we might be related.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. But my biggest issue in it is, why do you have to have an incest subplot?
Yeah, that's
It's
the reason
just
I can't
so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It is so strange. And as soon as you pull out the line of I don't care if we're related, like around those lines, it's like, oh no, don't
Mm-hmm.
say that. That's weird.
I will say, I think my interpretation of that line is like, I don't care if we're related. I've fallen in love with you. That wasn't gonna change because we're suddenly related. Because that would be to like lie to the self. But this is like the this is so weird. You know what?
Sorry.
I think I need to cut this out. I need to cut this out of the
We are gonna.
post-production.
I'm gonna fast track the watching of this movie because I need to understand. So sorry. So sorry. This isn't like I don't want to be like I'm like like super coming down hard on you, Nick.
Yeah.
I do understand kind of what you're saying. I do.
It makes more
I know
sense
you're not
when you-
advocating for.
No, I'm not. I'm not advocating for them. I think it would have been now if they had gone through with everything, then I think I would feel very different. I want to say like
Good.
but they didn't go through with anything. So we're just
Okay.
talking about the emotional experience of falling in love with somebody, but shit, then they might be related. Like that is like shit. How would you handle that? How would you handle that? How would you handle that in a rural town?
It's a good question.
In a rural town
It's a
where,
good question.
where you find somebody you don't know and you're hoping that you're not related to them. I don't know. It's
Yeah, during the Tokyo Olympics of all time.
yeah.
All times.
It's quite the funny backdrop.
Damn. I had no
Yeah.
idea this is what that movie was about. Okay, cool. Well, hey, I'm very interested. So
Yeah. Next one, I feel like this is
Next.
going to be a quick one. The Wind Rises. I do not like The Wind Rises. I think it is extremely boring. I think
Whoa.
that there's a lot of issues with the first half of the movie. I think it doesn't get interesting until the romance comes in, which is where the movie picks up a little bit of pace, gets a little bit more interesting. But that first hour is a drag to get through.
Whoa.
It is 3 stars for me. It is right above The Secret World of Arietti at 20.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
kind of commended as like a middle of the road. Yeah, middle of the
I'm
road.
gonna say mid good.
Mid good.
Yeah, mid good. I agree with that assessment. I'm just gonna say really quick. I don't think it's. I think its biggest, the most offensive thing about it is not doing a lot of new things, right?
Yes.
Doesn't it feel like we've seen a lot of this before?
Yes.
You know, kind of just pastiche together. Like even its like themes, like and everything. I understand though there was a little bit of controversy with this movie in regards to like militarization stuff. I think I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know a lot about it. It's very controversial. We at the end of World War II, we dismantled Japan's military. They're not allowed to have a national military anymore. We later said that they could have a self-defense force, which is interesting. And that I know of, like around the time The Wind Rises came out, our decree that they couldn't have a military anymore had ended. So a lot of people, like legally, it was over. So a lot of people were like, okay, we have to militarize again as a nation. and that was very controversial, not only in Japan but in other places. And obviously, this is a movie that is calling for, it's like a pacifist movie
Mm.
more than anything else. And so, yeah, basically, the Japanese right called uh, called Miyazaki a big crybaby liberal for for this
Yeah.
movie, which is very interesting. And then, yeah,
Also, was supposed to be his last. This was supposed to be the one that he retires with.
oh yeah,
Would have been very disappointing.
That would have been.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That would have been.
Well, we'll get
Especially.
hold that thought, Ryan. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, buddy. Anyway,
Mhm.
continue.
Yeah,
What's your
so
first
we're
thought?
gonna continue on to
Oh,
when Marnie was there. I'm a big fan of when Marnie was there.
hey,
I
hey,
really like that one.
we're missing Princess
Princess Kaguya.
Kyuka, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
skipped one. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, which I like more
Kaguya.
than when Marnie was there.
Mhm.
Uh, the
Nice.
Tale of Princess Kaguya is ranked fifth for me. It is a
Yeah.
5-star movie. It is
Yeah.
excellent.
This one's a real
It made
shine.
me cry a lot. Uh,
Mm.
it just hits every single one of your feels. This is like, if we are saying what are Takahata's best movies, Grave of the Fireflies, Tale of Princess Kaguya.
Mm.
Yeah, this is the end of that four, whatever you want to call it, four movie block that is considered like highly regarded. Yeah, what a great capstone. I would be surprised. I have to watch the other three really. To get like a full thing. Other than the other two, other than One Rises. To fully give it a thing. I think I'm gonna like Arietti quite a bit. I'm sorry, Ryan. I predict I like small little things, but
Mm.
yeah. For a historical story, talk about like elegance and just like it's like, oh, this is a story that is literally like a true story, like kind of like almost like a true as in it was told like back in the day, not unlike
Mm.
Mulan in Disney's canon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like this sort of like ancient story that is like like trying to think. I think it's yeah, this is a really high one. I'm not
Mm.
surprised. I didn't know that Takahata was behind it. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, devastating that it did not win for Best Animated Film.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
What beat it? I
oh,
have to
I'd have to
know.
look again.
I'm gonna freak
There's like
out.
certain ones where it's like, how did that win over like this Ghibli movie? Uh, I'd have to look. That'll be for
Okay,
next
I'll
episode that I
I'll do
can.
some side talk. If Nick, did you see this one?
I have not. Nope.
Oh, you need to.
Yeah,
Oh
I saw.
god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
saw my list.
it's good.
Yeah.
So we'll go now to when Marnie was there. Uh, I really like this one, as I said before. Uh, it is ranked 11th for me. Um, didn't expect for it to be as high as it was. It it's just a very well made movie. Queer baits the hell out of you. This
Uh,
one, like very badly. Uh, I won't spoil anything about it because there's a reason why I can't queer bait you fully. Um, yeah, I have you guys seen this one?
No.
I am also going to say, unfortunately, no.
Mm.
Uh,
All right.
can I say well, you've changed my opinion a little bit on Ryan. I don't know. Sorry, I know the vague plot of all the ones I'm saying I didn't see. I don't know if I need to see this. I will. Of course at some point. I'm not rushing out the door to see this one.
Yeah.
Just
See,
based
and
on
that's how I was like, and then I watched it and I was like, oh, this one's good.
Mm.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's well made. It's very well made. Like, watch this one before Arietti, please.
Okay.
Wow, my God. Wow, my God. Okay. Watch this one before Arietti? No, I'm not going to do that. But thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Next, they have the Red Turtle. I don't count that one really because that's more of a French production than it
Yeah,
is
it's not
Studio Ghibli,
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm not going to
Ghibli.
talk about that one.
Mhm.
Next, we got Earwig, ranked 24 out of 24, baby.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's bad.
Shocking how bad this one is.
It's very ugly. It's
It
very
is
ugly.
not redeemable
Mhm.
at all.
Whoa.
How does everything wrap up? Well, how about they're all in a band and they played music together? because that's how everything should wrap
Life
up.
works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how about our very shitty main character who is terrible to everybody? And we end the movie and she is still shitty and terrible to everybody, not learning a single thing.
Oof.
Uh,
Oof.
That seems what
how
I like.
about let's get rid of our colorful hand drawn animation style
Yeah.
and make it a crappy computer generated barf machine
Yeah.
that it is.
Yeah. 3D animation of 3D online animation. Yeah.
It's really bad.
Mhm.
Looks
Yeah.
really bad.
Dare I
Offensive.
say, looking like Monster House.
Whoa, whoa. Okay,
Monster
okay. The
House is a better movie.
Mhm.
Do
Monster
not talk
House.
on Monster House's name compared to this movie.
If I had a nickel
God.
for every time Monster House came up in a Studio Ghibli podcast, I'd have 2 nickels.
Listen, buddy. I'm still working on how I can the Monster House and Howl's Moving Castle special houses. How can I combine it all together?
Yeah, guys,
how can I
next
combine it?
episode, can we please, at some point, prank Craig and keep on talking about Monster House, like comparing some of the
I'm
Studio
thinking about
Ghiblis
that.
to
It's
it?
like, oh, yeah. My favorite Studio Ghibli movie was actually Monsters vs. Aliens. Sorry, no shade. That movie is kind of awesome.
Yeah, we should have
yeah.
Kevin James's character from Monster House and in Castle in the Sky.
God, that is really funny. I guess to kind of finish talking about Earwig here, freaking, jeez, like it is. So this is when people saw this and were like, "Holy crap, Goro, you're terrible." Like you're like,
Yeah.
you know, like sort of like, you know, you're just not your father. Like, you know, which is
Yeah.
really. Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny or anything. Like, you
Mhm.
know, in this particular moment, I'll shit on him in other times. But like, you know, just really here, yeah, it was like you're not your father. You're really not destined to lead Ghibli, apparently. And they were, you know, Ghibli was losing confidence
Yeah.
in him as like a thing. It's like you're wasting a lot of money.
Yeah.
And producing terrible, just material projects.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's when Miyazaki comes back for
Yeah. And
the last film.
speaking of Goro taking over Ghibli, we have The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
Terrible name. I just want to go out there
Yes.
first and
Yes,
say it.
because it's
I
really
would've-
not about
Terrible
the heron.
name.
I would have
It's
called
not.
it something else.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put this out here as a okay. So sorry. The wide interpretation of this film, and without even going into how we feel about it, the wide interpretation of this film is Miyazaki's way of directing a film to say, like, to his son, it's okay to fail, because it just
Yeah.
means that you'll get like better,
Try again.
and you'll just keep trying,
Yeah.
and you'll eventually like find your way. That is an interesting thing for a 70-year-old man to tell his 40 to 50 something year old son. Maybe lessons learned a little too late. But I guess my big question here is, does that come across for you guys in this movie? It did at the very end for me with the old man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested
Yeah.
to hear what you guys think about that. Okay.
So I have given this movie 4.5 stars. It is ranked right above Howl's Moving Castle for me at 8. I just want to start with that. I don't really see that message when I watch the movie.
Sure.
I could see it at points, and Miyazaki is definitely the old man. Like, that is, there's no other person you can compare
Absolutely.
that to. What I take it as is this movie is a mashup of all of Miyazaki's previous works.
Mhm.
And we could see it through some of the different characters in it. You could draw parallels to them. We could see it in the stylization. We could see it in the story itself.
Yeah.
And we even have it as a representative of the tower, of all the different pieces of the Miyazaki work,
Yeah.
and how he says you could build it in your own way.
Yeah. What a symbol.
So how I interpret the movie is kind of you don't have to do things the way that I've done them.
Yeah.
You need to forge your own path, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
Except there's a really big problem with this movie.
Oh.
I'm just gonna come out and say, it doesn't seem to be terribly interested in telling too solid of a story, really at all. I was shocked to watch this film, kind of knowing that it was pretty critically acclaimed, knowing that people had a lot of thoughts and like opinions on it, and how it related to the real life, relationship between Miyazaki, Hayao Miyazaki and his son Goro. I don't love this movie, guys. I'll be real. It seems very concerned with very intricate and beautiful visuals. I don't know why there's this like portal warping and like why there's like doesn't it feel like at times and sorry, speaking on what you said, all this stuff seems like constituent parts of like a Ghibli movie, and maybe insofar as Miyazaki, the senior Miyazaki, saying, well, this is actually probably going to be my last film ever. I kind of want to revisit and play again with all the things that I really enjoyed playing with over the years. It's beautiful. I am with it much more in its first half than its second half.
Really?
Yes. And I know that might be a little surprising.
It is.
Honestly, I am interested in everything and through when the Heron shows up. When we start going to the time traveling / space traveling / this temple type thing. It didn't help. I double featured this with Porco Rosso, which I feel like is very linear and very
very linear.
Isn't interested in I don't know, concepts of like time and space. Nothing super fantastical. The most fantastical thing about Porco Rosso is that there is a man who got transformed into a pig, and nobody really knows why. And that's kind of it. And he's not really worried about it. I'm just gonna come out and say I was not blown away with Boy and the Heron, and I know that's sort of what I was alluding to when it's like, oh, it would have been terrible for Miyazaki's last film to be And the Wind Rises. More on that next episode, I'm sure. I'm gonna say that I've just it's not that much of a improvement / I'm not blown away. Sorry. That's where I'm at with it. I know it's sort of a dour note to end here. I was expecting to be more impressed by it. So that's what I got.
Well, I can give you a more positive spin. We don't want it to too low. Bill's wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa, wait a second.
No.
You do understand. I think you guys do understand what I'm saying, though.
I do,
right?
yeah. I think you're more interested in that story of grief and the stepmom's dynamic with the boy instead of the passing down. And when I was watching this, the first act drags for me because I immediately kind of hate it. Because, it's normal. Like, oh, mom's dead. Oh, and the dad's seeing somebody else. Oh, they're moving to a different city.
Yeah, who turns out to be his sister.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of insane.
Her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, her sister, which he called aunt, and that's kind of fucked up.
It's kind of tough.
I'm not rooting for him to find his missing stepmom. And I understand. That's why I was soured for the first half. Because I wanted the story of grief, and I think that's what we were getting. But I think the passing down story, I think what it turns into for me is instead of grieving about his mother, it's Goro's, or it's what is Miyazaki's first? Hayao?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's Hayao's perception of how Goro will grieve him. Also, Hayao Miyazaki grieving the expected loss of, of Ghibli when he passes, and trying to make this an everlasting legacy that he is also passing down with the mindset of, like Ryan said, you the the changing of things. The way that I put it was um, a huge story of grief overlaid with Miyazaki passing down the studio is so evident here. The old man is him, and the boy is his son, Goro. It is up to the boy to now create and dismantle however he wants. Giving full reins to him, I think, was a really beautiful way of showing it and dedicating it. But I think it's one of those things, if you watch The Boy and the Heron objectively, without that context, then it just seems like a movie that is kind of fantastic, kind of in a maybe a Ponyo sense, where it's not fully gripped. But I do think, because of everything it represents, it is a perfect end of novel for Hayao Miyazaki.
And sorry, I know I've spoken quite critically of this movie. My final note for it is that there is a lot to love in it. In terms of I think the heron as a thing, although I find him at times a little gross in a body horror way.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
He's like it's like one of like the Totoro forest spirits who are like a little fucked up, I think while I see a lot of that stuff that you were talking about, Nick, like where there's this sort of meta commentary that Miyazaki Senior is making, it just doesn't quite get there for me. I think some adjustments could have been made to make it a tighter experience. That's where I'll leave it at that. It's certainly not a weak film, but
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think there's only 3 bad Studio Ghibli movies. Other than that, they're good to excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed this one. And I think there is commentary with who's going to be the next in the studio. That's a big thing in Japan, of who's going to be the next big animator for Studio Ghibli.
Right.
Yeah, Succession. Yeah.
And also, there is supposed to be one more senior Miyazaki film.
What?
Really?
There is supposed to be.
What?
He said that he could do one more. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, see,
I got one more in me.
He heard my hater ass. And he was like, one more,
Okay,
one
Bill,
more.
you want something good?
I guarantee you. I think if he really locks in, I think he should be freed from the constraints of real world drama for his last one. I think that would kind of suck if that was how it ended. I made this film not only because literally Studio Ghibli wanted me to make a successful film that would do well, but also as an apology thing. No. You can do better. Do one last really good one that you want to talk about.
Do My Neighbor the Yamadas as your last one. Just completely off the rails.
What if Miyazaki is like, Senior Miyazaki is like, oh, I got this great idea. It's it's a high school drama, and the people find out that they're related to each other. And it's like Goro's like, Dad!
And then he's like, and then they have to go to this house that's actually a monster house.
Wow. Okay, so he's like, there's a house that's been possessed by...
There's a house, and it turns out it's the family mansion, and they're all there for...
Yeah, and we need Kevin James to be in the English dub of the movie.
And then
yeah, it's just the Adam Sandler crew and the English dub of
Yes, bro. It's literally that. Yes, it's literally like that entire crew. Like, oh my god.
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider, yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Oh my god, that'd be horrible. Miyazaki got played into doing that. Okay. Well,
Oh my gosh. Well, on
let's.
that note, thank you everyone for listening to this. Uh, Listen next week for when we talk about Studio Ghibli in a lot of detail, things that are going on in Japan, things that are going on in the studio, throughout the world, how everything comes together, how Studio Ghibli movies weren't winning Best Animated Feature or Best Film. Uh, there's a whole list of them that could have won over whatever the hell Disney was putting out
Mm-hmm.
for a few of them. Uh,
Well,
yeah,
I am excited to talk about it. I think I'm going to save it for next time, but I did. Curiosity got the better of me, and I had to find out what won over Princess Cayuga,
Mm.
and it's shocking. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna save it for next
Save it for
episode.
next
So a
time. It's
little
good. Yeah,
cliffhanger,
it's a good talk.
cliffhanger. Not like you just can't look it up right now, but that's okay.
yeah.
But imagine that you can't. Google just went down, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Thank you again, everyone, for listening and for watching. Thank you, Nick and Bill, for being here. It's always a lot of fun talking about movies, although we went way over time that we were supposed to. Uh, with that being said, always remember, watch Studio Ghibli.
Always.
Just do it. If you've never seen one, just watch one.
Yeah.
Always remember, check your genealogy of anyone that you're going to date.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Especially
And
in
make
this
sure that the neighbor's house isn't alive or a
and
monster.
also make sure that you. Okay, okay, we can do this forever and go on forever.
Bye, everyone.
Yes.
Bye, guys.